We're back. We're live. Oh my gosh. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk about landing pages. They are a very specific strategy, and depending upon the source of your traffic, the strategy changes a little bit. I have been creating landing pages for specific direct marketing, direct response campaigns for I don't know how many years, more than 2 decades. For paid search, more recently, recent being like 15 years, social media, for email marketing campaigns, very specific landing experiences help conversions, period. But they also do some things in other channels, especially when you think about SEM, paid search, Google AdWords, whatever you want to call it. When I talk about paid search, I really am just talking about Google. They are by far the biggest player there. And there's nothing specific about a paid search strategy from a landing page creative perspective for Bing or DuckDuckGo or anything like that, unless you're targeting very specific products inside of those channels. So I thought today I would share my wireframe or my map. It's super proven. I have created, like I said, dozens of landing pages for big honking brands that have this page strategy has created thousands of customers for these brands. So it's proven, it works. And every time I execute on it, efficiency of the campaign gets better. Quality score improves, the conversions improve, and you conversion this to your heart's content. And this isn't specific creative. Here, let me share it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, all right. So my face is kind of all on top of this thing here, but you get it. So this is a wireframe, and there are different parts, and I'm going to talk about each part. But in general, there's a couple of rules here. You want one link, one click, one opportunity. It's for the conversion that you're looking for. It might be click to call or tap to call. It might be completing a form, like you see a form here in this hero area, in this header. That's great. That's a great conversion. You can put a pixel on the thank you experience and track those. And woo, I didn't expect that to zoom in. That was nuts. So basically, no, you see it says branding, and I'm going to get in more detail here in a second. But that branding is just a logo. You can have your offer and your call to action in the header area, but you don't want your nav bar. So turn the nav bar and the header and the footer of the website off if you're going to be hosting it on your website. That can be challenging because you may have a website that is template based, and that may require rebuilding or changing what template you're using here or there. But once you've put in that work, you should be good to go. So I'm going to start at the top here with the announcement bar. It's sneaky a really important piece of content. It might be the most important content in the upper half of this website, outside of maybe the headline, which is 80% of the entire page. But I'll tell you, having your offer and a contact info, like a phone number or any expiration date of the offer or whatever is on sale or something, is incredibly important for efficiency. And the importance can vary based on the psychographics. So if someone is coming in with tremendous urgency, like their home is filling with water and they've just Googled a plumber, or they, something has happened, there's an insect bite, like there are real urgent matters. Not life-threatening. Look, if there's a real emergency, dial 911. This isn't that. This is if there is a psychological urgency here, this announcement bar can do a lot of the heavy lifting. No one wants to complete a form if they're just going to tap the call, get someone customer service, and get straight away in contact with the call center or the brand, depending upon if it's B2B, B2C, and how that works. So for, what the offer is. So if it's a slow roll, like a long-term sales process, or if it's a high ticket item, or if it's B2B, the importance of this announcement bar can be reduced, and maybe you don't even need it. Certainly, you wouldn't have that if this was a luxury brand, right? If you're going to do paid search landing pages or social media destination or email marketing destination pages, you would not probably use this for a luxury brand, because that's not normally how they communicate. They don't often compete on price or limits of deadlines and things like that. And it happens. There are deals out there. Know the brand, know the offer. That's all I've got to say about the announcement bar. I will say that this header area, like I said, no navigation to links on the rest of the website. No other research needs to happen here. All the information someone needs to convert needs to be on this page. No navigation, period. It's non-negotiable. And this is in place to iterate the call to action and the offer. It can be and should be different than what you put in the announcement bar. So don't have duplicate content in that regard. And keep this short, simple, and typically this would just be a logo, % off or $1 off, and a phone number for whatever tracking phone number you're using. The header area here, what we call the hero, probably the most important part of the entire page. What was Ogilvy said 80% of conversion is the headline, and something like that. Not wrong. So the headline copy needs to be driven entirely by a benefit or an outcome. So not features, not something abstract. Don't get cute. Typically, you just want a headline that says, this is what you'll experience if you convert today. Boom. Get to it. It's by far the most crucial part of the entire page. And there's a few other things going on in this header here. We've got a hero image, and obviously there's no image here, but a background image or some sort of photography or illustration asset that conveys emotion or is more intimate or relates to the headline metaphorically, or, that goes a long way to helping people understand or connect their emotion with the emotion of converting. That's critically important, that you have something. It can be, look, some B2C things, you're just going to want a shot of the product. And that's okay. It's not emotional, but if that is going to help conversion, then that's the way to go. If it's going to be happy family, mom holding a baby, kid crying, dog running, whatever it is going to help with conversion, those are the things that you want up in that hero area. And in this blank space right here between the headline, state a clear benefit, and the hero image, you really want that to be the focus area of your image. The form or any general call to action, this is where that goes. And there's a reason for it, because in English, we read from left to right, and we see things. We've been trained with the web, reading books, doing homework, right? You go from the top left to the bottom right. And it's important that the form is in this position. You might see it in the bottom center of the hero area somewhere, and that's fine. That can work for some brands. You will rarely see it on the left or all the way at the bottom without one being up here at the top on the right. And the reason is that you want 3 things here to happen in line: the branding, the headline, the call to action, that form. And in that order, so that people know clearly how to do what it is that they came to do or what you need them to do. Hopefully they're the same. So that is the call to action. I do want to mention that there's a little box under the CTA over here, the form that says list top features. That is a good place to either put some feature icons or some feature text, like a couple of short lists. It's also a great place to put third-party validation. There's more of that here, certainly in the next section that follow this. But you want some sort of validation of either the features or from a third party that are going to help people make the choice to convert. So if it's building trust, if it's building value, whatever that is, that's where you put that. And I recommend keeping those short. Icons are the best, especially by that button. Icons by the button. Value, value, value. In this next one, this secondary area, you want to create a future state, an emotional future state clearly here with simple text, no paragraphs. This is the reason why someone would take action. This is, if you convert today for this big benefit up here in the headline, let's expand on the things that you get. Sometimes this can be a pricing table. This can be features like if it's pest control, you might want to list all of the insects and pests, right? That type of thing. It can get confused with features and benefits. Like you can mix these two sections together, cram them together if it's a very simple outcome. But if it's a more complex outcome, you would break it out so that you have sort of a more emotional tie-in with what people get in that secondary area. And then in features and benefits, we can really get into more details. This, while I don't recommend paragraphs, a sentence for each one, you can have a few words for each one of these, 5, 10, 15 words for each benefit. You want to keep these short, legible. Bulleted lists are fantastic for this area, and really dive into what all they get if they convert today. There's third-party validation section would be an expansion of what I was talking about, putting under the call to action or CTA up at the top. This is a great place to put testimonials, or if you need sponsors to add social proof or validation, any certifications. If you got a certain number of Yelp reviews, you got Google reviews, that's a great place to put these in. If you've got clients and you want to show what brands you've worked with in the past, like if you're a services business, this is where that goes. So there's a lot of different ways of sharing third-party validation. It varies dramatically depending upon your business or your client's business. But in general, this is where you would put it. And I kept this offer and call to action section here simple because it really is a duplicate, if even better to be slightly expanded version of the form up at the top, the call to action here. Scroll back, you see that there. That is certainly not indicative of the number of fields you need. Like this 4, you put whatever you need in there to get the information you need to convert that customer. If it's just an email address or name and email address, name, email, phone number, whatever, fine. If you have to have their physical address because it's important that they are geographically located in one very specific area, then put that in there. Whatever. Too many forms can be a barrier to conversion, but it's not a killer for every single industry. So this call to action, all that to say, this call to action is a great place to put the same form, reiterate the form, can't talk all of a sudden, so that If they have scrolled down the page, we ask for the business again, because you get 0% of the things you don't ask for. Is that how that goes? I think that's how that goes. Nothing. What? I don't remember that. I don't remember that alliteration. But the next section is testimonials and any endorsements. This can be combined, like I said, with the third-party validation. Testimonials are different. So if you have both, you would want testimonials here under that second call to action, because it's a great place to put social proof right next to a strong call to action. So people, hive mentality, people want to know that other folks have had success with whatever it is we are trying to convert, sell, whatever. So it's important that those two things are close to each other in a meaningful way somewhere on the page. And testimonials, it's why you usually see them pretty far down on the page. Like you've scrolled. You didn't hit the back button immediately. So other people are finding success with this. And expertise is an expansion. I've often used it for, say, about us content or bios, like, okay, here's who you'll be working with. Or if you need more proof, like you think about the things you would put in a PowerPoint deck or something where you would say, we've had this many sales or this many people. It's different than testimonials in that you're not putting 600 testimonials on a web page, but you might put 6 testimonials and then say, but we have worked with 500 brands or something like that. Or we have converted 60,000 people into this B2C service. Then this is a great place to share that broader social proof or analytics, if you will. So then finally, the all-important footer, we want to reiterate the branding here. Keep it simple. Nobody's here because they care about your brand. At this point, they're this far down on the page because they're still trying to find out if this solution is right for them. So we're just going to reiterate the brand, put the copyright, privacy policy, terms of service, terms and conditions, any disclaimers that, asterisk on the price of the offer or the timing of the offer. That stuff all goes down here at the bottom. And it is important content from a compliance or a legal standpoint. Everybody puts these links down in the footer because absolutely 0 people in the world actually want to read it. But keeping this clean, keeping it clear is important. If your footer is messy, unorganized, things don't align well, it is a subliminal message to the viewer that that's how you roll, that your service, your support, your product, your delivery method, your follow through, your customer service, whatever it is just as messy. So if you want to prove quality, have great typography, have it be clean, simple, and well aligned. And you will find that, whoa, my face. That is a subtle hint to just in human nature. When we see things that are cluttered, it is off-putting. So I wanted to do this in 20 minutes and it took 18 and a half. So that's pretty cool. If you have questions, comments, leave them down below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications, or I think that's how that works for watching future episodes. I'm grateful that you got through this. Hopefully this was helpful. Hit me up if you have any questions or comments about any of the sections in general. I'm always happy to reply and to help out. So I hope you have a great day. And I will see you, what's today, Wednesday? On Friday, 11 a.m., right back here, live. And thanks again. I appreciate you.